Hey, this is Michael. We're going to continue on braking our rear brakes so that way we can get started on tuning our carburetor, because we need to get the engine and the bike running for a good 10 minutes or 15 minutes. We'll figure out, we just take it for a stroll. We ran into a little snug. The JB weld that we did earlier was excellent. It did not, you can see here, it did not show a drip or any kind of issues at all, so that was really nice. And so we have some fluid in there already, and it still has not dripped. We gave it a squeeze, and you can see here the fluid's in this angle right here. And I tie strap it because we actually ran into a little snag when we were trying to bleed the brakes earlier. Our bleeding brake bolt actually broke. Luckily at auto parts store they usually will sell you replacements here. So they pretty much are the same. It's just going to be a little bit shorter, but it's still the same kind of bolt. So we're going to take this one in right now. You can see the difference between the two. There, let me get a resolution there. So it's just slightly a little bit shorter as far as the tip in, but everything is the same. You got the holes, and this actually has a seal, so you can just take back your cap and put on the new one here. And we're gonna go ahead and get that started. And again, the basic tools you need is just a 5/16 or 8mm ratchet. Open in, please. That way you can come back and forth rocking it. If you're going to get one of these ones, they're going to twirl one way and you have to flip it in order to get to the other way, so it's going to not be reversible. So you definitely want to just stick with the open end one. You're going to need some paper towels, some used paper towels, and you're going to need a Phillips screwdriver. Take off your master cylinder cap. Here we took it off already. We put in our brake breather tool, optional tool. Get the brake pit posse tool there. We have it ready to go. We constructed it. We put the hook in right there. We put this in right here. So you're gonna need a Phillips to take this off, which we did already. You might need to use a mallet hammer to drive those bolts in if you have a hard time taking these off. You can see in my other video I explained that. And now we're gonna go ahead and put these bolts in here, and we're gonna see first how they thread in, if it's okay. You can see the thread pattern right there. So go ahead, let's see how it drives in. We're also gonna get some gloves here. You wanna, brake fluid's really harsh on your skin. It can actually almost take out your fingerprint if that's what you want to hide evidence. Here we go. So let's see if this drives in. And it does drive in. You can see here, I can go further and then we'll further drive it in. So that's what we need to do. We're gonna go and connect back our bleeder hose. I'm going to take it with a tie strap. The reason why is so we can tighten it even further. You can see here this bottle trick here works beautifully. It's just leaking because it's from the outside. It was kind of laying on a bunch of brake fluid earlier, but it's not leaking coming out of the bucket. You also want to work on a piece of cardboard, help it absorb some of the oil that might come out. But this should be a pretty clean install with the right tool. Again, this was stripped. I guess we used that rust remover and it might took some of the protecting coating or soften the metal out, so I wouldn't recommend it if you are gonna try to clean this, because I wasn't able to get it out back from this right here is barely. So what I had to do was actually take it, use a vice grip like this and clod it in there, and I was able to back it out and take the bolts out. So let's go ahead and put this shield cover back in. I think we could twist it off little by little. It's just a rubber band. Rubber. So we'll go and get that out. Okay. Let's back this out. Gonna put it in first with it. There we go. Nice. Okay. Very nice fit. And positioned to where we want it. Okay, you got to put it in now because once you tighten it down, it's harder to go from the top. You could go from the top, but it's be stretching the band a little bit. So it's better just to go and have it ready to go. I'm going to tighten in as much as I can. Still do it by hand, I guess. Yeah, you want to make sure if it's stripped, it's very hard to open and close the brake bleeder valve, and that'll just make your job a little harder. And if it doesn't close properly, by the time you release your brake lever, you know, you're gonna have some trouble there. You can see it's getting tight in the array, which is good. That's what we want. Okay, but we want to make sure it's all the way tightened, and then we're gonna back it out to loosen it. So it's brand new. It's breaking that little orange rubber coating there from his thread. It's coated with some little bit of like almost like a little rubberize. So here it goes. This is the product here I got at the auto store. This is the size if you need to know for your brake. I got a quantity of 2. So the front one we already did. It's nice and firm, so that one's okay. But we'll probably replace it on the next brake change with these ones right here. So out with old, in with the new, just in case it creates problem in the future. We won't waste our time going back and forth chasing those bolts. So this one's way more tight. You can see right here when it's tightening it down, the orange rubber is peeling off, which is perfectly fine. Because the idea is to actually, when it bolts all the way down and locks all the way down, that's when it really tightens it in. Okay, so this is much more solid threads, not soft. So I think we would have no more problem tightening our brakes now and making sure we bleed it properly. And I found out another way to actually reach over and grab your brake lever, especially when it's all the way to your opposite corner of your handlebar there, and you're on this side trying to open and close if you're working by yourself. So I'm going to show you that right now. But let me just drive this all the way in much as I can before it tightens. Actually, we do have to tighten it because we want to start the process of siphoning the brake lines to get all the air pressure in back of here, and then get the air brakes out. So we can tighten it right now. And we're going to see, oh, there it goes. See, I don't want to strip it. So you want to make sure, oh, sorry there. Wait till it gets back into position there. So you don't want to strip it. Make sure you hold it very tight. Then drive it in. See that right there is almost stripping too. They're very soft when you get a little brake fluid in there. Okay, so let's back it in. It's backing in all right. 8mm is going to be the same as a 5/16. So I can't get this in yet in this angle. Sorry, I'm blocking you. There we go. You want to get it really good in there, and then you want to make sure you push down on it. There we go. And let me see if I can even do it this way. I could probably do it in this way to tighten it first. Okay, that's the way to loosen it. I'll do it this way. That way it gives more of an angle for all of it. So this is much nicer. And you could probably go back and forth on this one. Okay, it's almost tightening it. Okay, we don't want to strip the nut like we did last time. And that nut was probably old already. It's kind of, you know, we had to take it from being rusty. But I'm not sure how much these were, but I don't think they were that expensive. I think I bought a set of washers with these. It came to about $18. I think the washers were like maybe $4 each as well. So they're about $10, maybe $5 a piece. There we go. All right, it's almost smashing that rubber. We don't want to go all the way too far where it smashes it, but we do want to tighten it because we want to seal the brake line. Okay, this is great at smashing the rubber. Almost driving it all in. Okay, it's almost there. Very, very tight fit. We want to get all the way tight till it can't tighten anymore, and then we're going to back it out when we bleed it. Okay, and it's shorter too than the other one, so we're not worried about it driving further in. As you can see how short it is compared to our original stock one here. Keep on moving the camera. See that right there? It's much, much shorter. See if I can put in. Right there. This has almost another millimeter it can reach our original. You can see how much it's kind of threaded out there. So make sure you get the right socket there. 8mm socket. So I'm driving with all 4 of the angle with this wrench here, so I want to make sure. Okay. Oh my gosh. Oh boy, one problem after another. Look at that. I drove it in so much I broke it off. Okay, now I'm in another issue. Oh boy. So that means I'm more than likely have to rethread this somehow. So gosh, this thing was, oh man, this is horrible. Okay. So that's that soft, huh? So yeah, it was a lot of pressure. We drove it in. Now we're gonna have to actually get something to drill it back out, and we'll try to put the other one back in. Hopefully we can do it, but I don't have too much experience on driving a nut back out, but I'm gonna do my best. So here we go.